This is a story about creation. A tale of discovery that goes beyond human imagination. It is the emergence of something exciting and new. Yet at the same time, it is reminiscent of history's tried and tested methods which are familiar to us all. It is time to explore the reality of the real, the not so real, and everything that happens in between. It is time to ask the fundamental question, what is the metaverse? For no reason at all, our story begins in the early 1960s. It was here that everyone had come to accept the theater of democracy. A consensus that recognized capitalism in the West and communism in the East presented a broad stage upon which humanity could function. An agreed set of rules by which everyone could play. But one man thought differently. He had a dream. He wanted to create a new reality free from discord and uncertainty. He wanted to build a new beginning. But this was a fantasy. For at that exact moment the documentary tone would change, and viewers would be brought forward in time and shown news footage of an unprecedented event. It would bear no resemblance to what they had just been watching.
This is the NYMR News, bringing you news and events from the line side. Welcome to another edition of the NYMR News. Previous newsreels have mostly featured events directly concerned with our own society, but as 1975 was such an historic milestone in British railway history that we decided this time that we would go further afield.
Nothing made any sense anymore.
Yeah, I could do actually. Yeah. Let's have a look. So from here.
After some time had passed, men with beards and glasses who were working hard in a garage somewhere in southeast London made the internet. Internet benefits were immediate, and in a rush to capitalize value, the elite deployed a range of social experiments. The first of which was a bold project to consider the benefits of technology within the healthcare system. In facing the challenge of supply and demand, many doctors embraced the opportunity for digital intervention.
Now, the point of an experiment like this is to see whether a machine or a computer can ask the kind of questions that a doctor normally asks, and whether patients are prepared to talk to a computer, as it were. This is connected to a computer about 15 miles away. What happens is that there's a videotape of a whole series of questions, the doctor on the tape. Now, this is controlled by the computer. The picture of the doctor comes up on the screen and says to the patient, have you got chest pains or whatever? And the patient then presses a button. He might press yes or no. If he presses yes, the computer looks at that and makes a decision as to what question should next be asked. It then winds the tape onto the appropriate point. The funny thing is they actually prefer it. We thought they might dislike the machine, but in fact we found that the kind of rapport that the patient strikes up with the computer is better in many cases than that he strikes up with the doctor.
The sentiments captured by these early experiments enabled the documentary to accelerate through the 1990s and into the 21st century. Bewildered and disoriented, viewers found themselves watching an out-of-context sequence of aerial shots. But despite this, it was now apparent that the internet was indeed holding a mirror to society, presenting a dichotomy between order and chaos. All our hopes, fears and dreams now existed on a platform never before imagined at this scale. But it was all an illusion. Elsewhere, a group of pixie farmers had a solution. Their aim was to create a new world, an idea which would allow the internet to augment with our very fabric of being. It was here that the metaverse would come to fruition. From the ambitions of our Silicon Valley forefathers to the desires of our present-day politicians, everyone knew this would be the only option. And just as it felt the documentary had realized some kind of important point, an out-of-context reference to the Middle East appeared on the screen. This was the story of how the internet came to be, and how to this day it continues to evolve. Internet, cyberspace, metaverse. The terms are interchangeable, but their context is all the same. Perhaps the metaverse is nothing more than a three-dimensional impression of everything the internet has come to be, or maybe it is a future state of consciousness that we will transition to in the new world. Of course, it could simply be a global marketing strategy to keep any kind of social unrest at bay. Whatever the metaverse is, or isn't, only time will tell.